No one else can freaking hurt you anymore. Who's gonna hurt you when you already been hurt that much? Nobody. Nobody can. He hurts you so badly. He hurts you so deeply that at some point you get so tired of suffering and of crying and of regretting, and it becomes so exhausting to you that's why it can also change you in a bad way, because you have to learn how to. I want to tell you how deeply, how profound, how strongly a heartbreak can change your life. How a real heartbreak can change your life for good, but also for worse. Look, if you haven't experienced a heartbreak yet, if you are a man and you haven't experienced a true, real, deep, emotional heartbreak, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. It's such an experience that you can only go through it to understand what it's like. I cannot explain to you. Nobody can explain it to you. It's just something so emotionally harming and scarring that to me is just literally unexplainable. But I can only try my best and try to explain. I'm going to try to explain based on my experience. I'm not going to talk in detail about what happened at the time, but I am going to tell you the effect that had on me, shaping my personality, shaping who I am right now, shaping the person that I've become right now. It was about 3 years ago that it happened, and that person, that girl, she was my world. She was my life. She was the girl of my dreams, and I couldn't live without her. I thought about her most of my day, and to me, there was nobody else. There was nobody else, and I could never, ever have imagined anybody else in my life other than her. To me, she was just. I cared more about her than I cared about myself. That's how I felt. Doesn't matter if she didn't see it that way. It doesn't matter if I made mistakes. It doesn't matter if that's not what I showed. I'm telling how I felt. That's how I felt. She was my world. She was everything to me. And when you care enough, not enough, but when you care in that way for a person, for another human being, and you do it consistently for years, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and it's reciprocated. That person also loves you to death. That person is crazy about you, and all of a sudden, everything changes. And what is supposed to be love is turned into putrid hatred, real hatred and anger, and that manifestates into words, and those words are aimed at you. When that happens, that's the feeling I told you is inexplainable. It's like the floor opens up and you are swallowed, and you want to stay there, and you don't want to see, hear, or do anything else in your life. You just want to die. Most people who really have very bad heartbreak, they just want to die. That's the feeling. That's how I felt. Many times. Many times. But this is how it can change your life. If you're still watching this video, I don't know why you're watching this video yet still. But it's probably because you resonate with what I'm saying. You had that type of heartbreak in your life, and that did change you somehow. I'm very sure of it. Did change you somehow. Or you haven't had a heartbreak and you're trying to understand what I'm trying to express. Either way, you're probably going to benefit from this video. So, the way it can change you is that it hurts you so badly. It hurts you so deeply that at some point you get so tired of suffering and of crying and of regretting, and it becomes so exhausting to you that you just can't take it anymore, and you just have to do something about it. Either you die or you adapt. This is the human nature, the human condition. Either you die or you adapt. There's no other choice. You're hurt for a long time, and you're either gonna succumb to suffering and die, or you're going to adapt and become better. And that's what happened to me. And I don't say better like I'm better than other people. I don't say better like I'm better than you or better than anybody. I say better comparing to my previous self. Because once I adapted, once I accepted that she was not coming back, and that I accepted that whether or not I liked it or not, or I loved her or not, she just didn't love me anymore. And she hated me, actually. As soon as you actually, deep down in your heart, you truly accept that fact, you do have to adapt. You just have to adapt immediately. And that's what happened. I adapted, and I adapted in such a way that I became cold. I became relentless. I became unstoppable in everything I did. Like no one else could hurt me anymore. This is what I mean. When you're hurt in that way so badly, no one else can freaking hurt you anymore. Who's gonna hurt you when you already been hurt that much? Nobody. Nobody can hurt you that way when you've been hurt that much. So that's what happened to me. And that truly changed my life. I was able to achieve so many goals that I wanted to achieve. I'm so far away from the life that I see for myself. I'm so far away from that. But still, I have achieved so much, and I attribute the majority of it to that moment of change because of the heartbreak that I suffered. It was the most difficult, the hardest part of my life, the hardest moment of my life that made me adapt and grow into a stronger, more resilient and numb person and cold person. But that's the thing. That's why it can also change you in a bad way. Because you have to learn how to control it. You have to learn how to adjust it. The coldness. You cannot treat people with coldness. You cannot treat not a stranger, not your friends, but also not a stranger. You cannot treat anybody without love. You have to treat people with real love. And love is not a feeling as much as it is an action. What you do for people, for that person. What you do and what you say. Consistently. That's love. You don't need to necessarily feel like you want to cry or like so much empathy that like you just want to give your whole life and house to someone. But love is shown by action. So when you become relentless and unstoppable, it also comes a lot of self-esteem and a lot of self-confidence and a lot of relentlessness and also coldness. And you have to learn to measure that so that it's not unhealthy to you, and so that it's not unhealthy to your next relationships, and it's not unhealthy to the people around you. And that's what I've learned. That's what I've been learning. I haven't learned completely, I have to admit. Because many times I just lack empathy, and I'm just very cold toward people, even though I don't want to be that way. And that is good the majority of time, but it can also be, extremely, extremely bad. Because, well, it takes people away from you, and it's a lot harder for you to maintain any relationship with anybody. And you do want relationships. You do want friends. Why wouldn't you want friends? You just want friends and want people around you who support you, who have a prosperity mindset, and people who treat others with respect and with love. That's the type of people you want around you, not just anybody. And for that, you can't be cold all the time. I'm just telling you, you just can't. You can't be cold all the time. So, I really want to talk deeply about, not deeply, I want to talk in more detail about what happened to me at some point. I don't know, maybe in some months, 1 year, 2 years. But right now, this is what I wanted to say. I wanted to tell you this because I felt like this was the day I should say something different other than just coaching and motivating you and inspire you on a superficial level. This is it's a more deep level. It's a deeper level for you to think about, for you to remember how that changed you. I don't know how, but if you've been through a heartbreak, I know that has changed you somehow. I'm very sure of it. Just don't let it break you. Use that pain, use that hurt to become freaking unstoppable, like you've never been before. Like nobody can hurt you, and like you can go after your dreams like an animal, like you've always wanted to, because nothing can stop you. No one can hurt you. Rejection does not matter. It does not touch you. It does not get to you in any way, because you've been through it. It's almost like you were there in pain, and when people reject you and criticize you, it's like here. So you've been there so long, and you know it so well that when you're here, it doesn't faze you. It does not matter. And you have to use that freaking pain to do what you need to do to get to the next level in your life. I don't know, right now I don't know any other type of motivation I could give you other than this real experience of mine and how it really affected me and literally changed my life. And it's still changing my life. And I'm still learning with that moment. And I remember the pain that I went through and why I became the way I am. And why I'm being shaped the way that I am being shaped like. Well, anyways, I've rambled for a long time. 12 minutes of video. And I hope that it's 12 minutes of video that, well, if you're listening to me, you are watching this, obviously, right? If you're listening, you're watching. And so thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me, for allowing me to share my experience with you. And I really, really hope that you resonate with me and that it helps you somehow. That you see someone else that has been through it, who's overcome that, and that motivates you to do the same thing. Not just the same thing, but even better. Remember, you are what you think about. You reap what you sow. Pay the price today so that you can pay any price in the future.